Hi, friends. Welcome to Enlightened World Network. Dr. Ruth Anderson and Terry Angel here for Focus on Lightworkers. Today, it is our absolute pleasure to introduce you to Sarrah Chapman. Her bio says as a Soul Purpose Activator. We're going to ask her about that in a minute. Sarrah Chapman supports spirit-led people to live their purpose with ease. She uses the Akashic Records to guide those she's here to serve in creating full alignment within themselves and syncing with the rhythm of life. By connecting to who they are at soul level and clearing energetic stumbling blocks, her clients create a ripple effect of heartfelt purpose in the world without sacrificing themselves or their relationships. Sarrah Chapman, thank you so much for being here. First, I just want to say we met because Archangel Gabriel told me to see your site, and I saw her site, her website, and I thought, okay, I understand why. I know why we're supposed to meet. So thank you to Gabriel for bringing us together. So Sarrah, please just take a few minutes, let us hear your voice, and maybe just tell us what is inspiring you these days.
Yes. Well, thank you, Ruth. Thank you, Terry, so much for inviting me into the space to share this time with you and your community. And what's inspiring me most right now really is community and people coming together. I think about, you just had this Love for Mother Earth Day and a meditation every hour on the hour. And to me, it's that type of coming together and really getting to connect within ourselves, but with other people as well, and connect into Mother Earth and Spirit. And one of the things that the two of you said in your meditation, I think Terry was saying she got this image of coming to Mother Earth with a barefoot heart. And oh, that spoke to me. I think we had even talked that day. I said I had been out walking barefoot in my pasture.
I
And that just really connected me to that space of like, oh, yeah, like I can feel that. And I think that's what gets me most excited about the energy on the planet right now, because like, yes, there's so much, right? There's a lot of heaviness. There's just so much to navigate in our human world. And also we get to be here. We get to be here together during this time and to come into those spaces of the barefoot heart right now.
Beautiful. We're here for such a time as this, Sarah.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah.
Sarrah, the first video I saw of yours that really drew me in, it was about soul gifts. How do you get the information that you share out in your videos?
Yeah, so that comes from the Akashic Record energy field. And so anyone who's not familiar with that, I really love to think of it in the dimensional form. So here we are in the 3D, the third dimension. And then we've got the fourth dimension that is, our mental body, our emotional body. And then we've got the fifth dimension, more of that electromagnetic field, that spiritual body. And so it's that realm where we're going, more of that private energy field instead of our public energy. And that's where we're getting more information about who we are at soul level. And I've studied several different ways to read the Akashic Records. I love that there's so many different ways to connect with that energy. I'm trained in soul realignment, which is a lineage that really brings through those specific soul gifts. And I love that frame of reference because it's looking at these 8 energies of the soul, these like 8 different ingredients. And we all contain all of these ingredients. But if we tried to come here and be all things, we would never really accomplish what we got into a body to do. We would be very overwhelmed. And so our soul tends to specialize in one or two. And that way we can really focus. So for instance, my primary soul gift is divine love and healing. So I am someone who's here to be in relationship with people, to help people remember their wholeness, that there's nothing to fix. We can just hold ourselves in non-judgment. And then some of the challenge with that is that sometimes people with this gift, I definitely have had to work on boundaries because we want to give. And so then with this gift, I've had to learn how to also receive and be in that balanced state. So I just love these different soul gift energies because they really help to clarify how to work with our own personal energy.
Do you remember offhand what the different 8 gifts are?
So there's divine compassion, divine creation manifestation, divine order, which is also divine beauty, divine harmony, divine love and healing, divine communication and self-expression, divine truth, divine power, which is also empowerment, and divine wisdom. So, and I love the titles because I think they can kind of give a clear picture right away of what those energies hold.
Does everybody come into this world with at least one of the soul gifts?
Absolutely. Yes. Everyone comes in with some sort of mix of those 8 ingredients, so to speak. And so we all have 1 or 2 that we're really focused on the most. And then it's like the rest of them, it's like the dash of salt or the teaspoon of sugar or the couple of eggs, to really bring the cake together with, the cups of flour and the things that take up the bulk there. So I always love the way that they come together in this beautiful mix of what someone's really here to bring through.
Terry, what do you think of all that?
Well, yeah, I'm totally in alignment with that and resonate. I've heard it said that it's our divine birthright, these spiritual gifts.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so I like to think of it in that way, that no one's excluded in God's love or what we are created as in his image. So that makes it maybe a little easier for someone to say, I don't have any gifts. Yes, you do. They're there. They're our birthright to have them. And as you were explaining, hone those skills and I say just ask, what does it feel like inside if you think about being a healer or if you think about a communicator? So I just love what you're bringing forth to us today and explaining it so clearly that it's very understandable, and I appreciate that.
So
Yeah.
do you think that different gifts might come in at different times in your life, or once a healer, always a healer? What do you think about that?
Yeah. So here, just kind of to expand on what Terry said, they are our divine birthright. I love that frame of reference because we do all have access to all of these gifts. And so there's a kind of a couple different ways to look at it, and different people see it in different ways that, once you have these gifts, these are always your gifts. And at the same time, I feel like we pull from all of these. We really have the access to all of these gifts and can tap into all of this. And really, I believe that these are also archangel realms of training. And Terry, I would love to hear more of what you have to say about that. And that, we come in to really learn all of these different energies, even if, my primary is divine love and healing, and that's what I am here to learn and attune to. I can still tune in and learn from the archangels all these different energies as well. And I also, I love, Terry, that you brought up, sometimes we think like, oh, I don't have any gifts. Sometimes they're so innate that we're discounting them, and we're seeing other people's gifts but we're not really seeing how valuable and rare our gifts are and the way that we bring those through, because, it's the water we're swimming in. And we also, are often taught by people who have different gifts than we have. And we're taught things like, oh, get better at your weaknesses, instead of really like honoring what our strengths are. And all of these gifts do have a challenging side to them, but they're still our gift. It's still a way to connect with this energy and learn from it.
I love that. And I think you were talking to Dr. Ruth Anderson on a matter there, Ruth, speaking out of school. But I believe, and I'd like to get your input on, we choose lessons for us to learn as we come into an incarnation. And I've been taught that there are rays of energy, and we flow into our human existence under one of those rays. So there may be an archangel that's working with us to master whatever it was that we came here, the lesson we came here to learn. So that flows right in with those spiritual gifts of whatever we're working on. We're going to see that expand in our life. So I'd love to hear about that. And yes, I think we're going to hold a discussion about angels more in depth when we get to know each other more and work together more. But the angels have a big part in these spiritual gifts.
Yes, absolutely. And I love the way you bring that forward of the rays, and how we choose to come in with these lessons and in these specific rays in order to learn and grow and be on the leading edge of humanity and consciousness, and bringing that divine spark into the human experience. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Sarrah, you describe yourself as a soul purpose activator. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, so to me, that means holding space for someone to have an activation in connecting to their purpose. And to me, your purpose doesn't mean what you're doing. It can be expressed through your work, through your actions. And really what it is just attuning to that energy that you're here to work with, that soul gift, that archangel realm of training, and that ray that you're here to live in. And I think a lot of times when we can be witnessed in that and have someone to guide us to really connect with that and the answers within, it's like then we can shed layers of things that have been blocking, or really let us expand our energy into bringing in more of that vital force and that soul gift to really express our purpose in a bigger way.
So, Sarrah, not everybody understands angels. Not everybody understands this kind of energy work. How did this happen for you? Was this a lifelong process for you or newer to you?
So this has been more of a lifelong process. I grew up with a Christian lens, which, was wonderful at the time. And also I've had a few things to process and navigate through that. But I always felt very close to Christ and Christ consciousness through that Christian lens. And for me, I had a lot of times where intuitive messages would come in, but I didn't understand what was happening. And I had a lot of depression as a child. I had issues with drinking too much in my teens and 20s, in kind of this way of trying to heal trauma and not really knowing what was happening a lot of times. But I would always be drawn back to the spiritual world. And all of my grandparents farmed. And so they were very close to the land and very close to like herbal remedies and natural remedies. And that was kind of my entry point. And my path just kind of kept going from there, of finding more and more pieces that connected me to the natural world, which connected me to spirituality. And so in college, I started studying hands-on energy modalities and essential oils, and then went into the corporate world, where I had a wonderful job at a great company where I got to start a recycling program and an organic garden. And it was great on paper. I was also in the sales department, and again, drinking too much. And I would come in the morning and like do my affirmations and listen to telesummits. This is back before podcast. And I would be doing all this spiritual work and then take clients out at night. And I had this realization one morning of like, oh, I am not going to make it if I stay here. Like, this is not healthy for me. And I had been studying, it was Jinshin Jitsu, and I wanted to leave and go do that full time. This was in 2010. And my mom at the time said, nobody knows what that is. You should go to massage school. So I went to massage school, and that really was my entry point to bring more of this work together. I could practice on all my massage clients of doing Akashic record readings or doing different energy work. And so it really opened up my world to bring everything that I really wanted to be doing together.
I know you're a parent. Do you infuse your spiritual learnings into parenthood, or do you keep them separate?
No, it's definitely a big part. And really, I feel like my son is my biggest teacher. He is always channeling and bringing through messages when we're playing and imagining. And we've talked about the soul gifts. I'm really appreciative that I get to know who he is at a soul level, so that I can tailor my parenting to knowing that he's more divine power. And so he needs more choice and freedom. And so it's helped me navigate that and to share that with him when he's having struggles of, oh, well, this is why for you that's more challenging, when other kids maybe are not having the same challenges because you're here for something different. And so I really appreciate that I get to share that with him, but also learn so much from him. I feel like he teaches me something new every single day.
Now, he's very lucky to have you as a parent.
Well, I appreciate these new generations coming in that are also helping us. I feel like I'm getting to reparent myself. Of course, my parents did the very best they could. And also, I'm getting to heal my inner child by getting to play and bring this piece of spirituality to him. And I'm excited to see what these next generations bring.
I love that. Sarrah, I really appreciate what you were saying about, the farm life and growing up, and how important is it? And when you talk about how important it is to connect with nature and to stay grounded in that way with Mother Earth.
Yeah, I feel like that is one of the biggest keys for us as humans, right? Because we are the earth. There's no separation, where it's all so interconnected. And we have so much to learn from nature. I think we even talked about how Mother Nature is never hurried or rushed, and she's also never slowed down. And just allowing more of that natural process to unfold that we get to see in nature, but that we're so often removed from in our society, or the belief systems that have been built. And when we can come back to the stillness, to the innate wisdom that's there for us in nature, even just on an energetic level, and, thank you, science, for starting to catch up and like being able to actually reflect how we as humans are healthier and more balanced and well when we're connected to nature. So I think it's just one of the biggest things that we can give ourselves, to put our feet on the ground or touch a tree, touch some grass, just breathe in the air that's around us and remember that connection.
Sarrah, how do you find your spiritual community?
So I'm really, really blessed that
community. Surround yourself with people who share your faith.
Siri thought I said Siri. I said
Siri's jumping in here.
Community. Well, at least it wants to bring in community. That's great. So I'm really blessed that I do have community where I live, that I've just, because I own a business and I've done networking and found like-minded friends, that I've been able to build that where I am. But I'm also really grateful for the online communities that I've found. And I feel like tuning into places like Enlightened World Network has brought real connection. I've been able to create real human connection with people that I consider to be close friends now, that I met online. And I think that is the beauty of technology, right? Is to connect us with like-minded people, so we know we're not alone, and we can really tune into that support and learn and grow and be there to support one another.
Yeah. Sarrah, if somebody came to you for a session or worked with you online, what could they experience?
Yeah, so I usually work with people over a few sessions. So the first session, we're really looking at how they're built at soul level and how they're here to work with that. And a lot of times I'm not telling anyone anything they don't already know, but it's more of a remembering and an embracing and honoring those pieces that, again, we're often discounting. It's like seeing ourselves through new eyes. And then the next session, we're looking at the energetic blocks that are coming up. And I love looking at energetic blocks because I feel like this is something that we get to celebrate. It's really reflecting that dance that we got into a human body to have with the human experience. And it's showing like, oh, okay, you have completed some of these lessons and you're recognizing what's coming up in the energy field, maybe what created it, past life, present life, ancestral issues. And then doing an energy clearing around that, and then looking at, what do you want to replace that with? What do you want to create now? And then the third session, I'm usually working with people on a business energy reading or a relationship reading or a reading I created called the Abundance Pathway, where we're looking at what their goals are, where they're at, what they're thinking about doing, but what's their most abundant pathway to get there? Because a lot of times we think, oh, I need to work on this, this, and this. And that might be valid, but it might also be, well, maybe you need to go paint 20% more of the time, or maybe you need to go see friends and just laugh and be in community and be held a little bit more. So a lot of times it's things that we know will support us, but then when we can look at what's uniquely tailored to our personal energy and our personal pathway that we might not be giving ourselves permission to do, it can really just bring someone back to that center point, because the people that I'm so blessed to get to work with and be connected to have a purpose, whether they're clear on what that is or not. Like, they know they want to be creating good in the world and they want to see that ripple effect take place. And so when we can give that to ourselves first, then we can go out and give from that full cup.
If somebody wants to work with you, Sarrah, how do they reach out to you?
Yeah, so I have in my links, there is a discovery call link. And I always like to have, just a conversation with someone first to make sure like that I am the right person to support them. Because if I'm not, I have other resources to share. And I like to have that space where we're getting to know one another so that they know if they're making the right decision for themselves or not. So we always start just with a simple conversation first. And then I'm also excited because I am building retreats into my business as well. So I had a retreat in New Mexico last fall and am putting that together for this year as well.
Are you going back to New Mexico, or where do you?
Yes, it's looking like New Mexico. I'm still putting all the details together, but it's looking like we'll be back in New Mexico in the fall to really focus on what I'm calling the soul abundance experience of connecting to your intuition and your body's wisdom so that you can come back to hearing your own answers to really bring your powerful purpose to the world.
Beautiful. Well, I'm hoping that you'll share that with us as you are getting that pulled together for this year.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Very exciting. I'd be interested in that as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Terry, any last questions, further questions?
I'm just so glad that the universe brought us together. And I feel like it was a divine assignment for you to be a part of this wonderful network of light workers. And we're happy to have you on board. I think we're going to learn a lot from you and just be blessed by your energy being here. I just want to thank you. And I'm excited.
Oh, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. It felt like this beautiful divine timing when Ruth reached out and getting to connect with this community. It feels sweet. It feels like coming home. So I really appreciate getting to be here with you.
Beautiful. That's Divine Mother, by the way. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Sarrah, what else would you like us to know about you?
Great question. Well, what comes up is, I really enjoy getting to bring my work to the world while also doing my own personal work and walking my personal path. And I work a lot with the Divine Mother, as well as the Priestess path. I work with my land and energy grids a lot for myself personally. And so I'm really excited to be tuned into this community to learn a lot more. I think I told you both this already, but the angels and archangels seem to come to me just in little bits at a time. And it felt like meeting you all, like, oh, it's time. It's time that I get to learn more. And so I'm just really excited because there's so much, right? And it's not a like, oh, I have to learn it all, right? I think sometimes we can feel like, wow, there's so much to learn, but it's just such a beautiful unfolding. And the fact that we get to come together and bring each individual piece of source and our unique focus and expression to the world so that we can all share. It just makes me very, very grateful to get to be a part of this community. So thank you.
Well, I'm just so grateful that we met you and that we get to carry forward with you. So thank you, Sarrah, for your time, Terry, Angel, as well. And friends here at Enlightened World Network, we're meeting new light workers all the time. And if you go to Enlightened World Network and just type in the small search, focus on light workers, there's several different introductory sessions here where we're meeting new light workers. So please check that out. So friends, thank you. Thank you. Take good care. God bless. And we'll see you all soon. Bye now.
Everyone.